All right, I think that's enough coffee, Rocko. All right, should we get going to the park? Yeah, let's do it, buddy. Let's get the boy. We gotta get the boy for the ride. Okay, wait. I know you're so excited. One. Stay with. Nobody said to go. Okay, sit. Golly. All right, mister, have we got everything we need? We've got waters, we've got your bags, and let's see, leashes, or leash, singular. I think we got everything, Rocko. Let's go check it out, man, before the rains come. All right, hey, buddy, Rocko, are you gonna be nice and quiet today? I know you're so excited, but come on, man. Cut my ears a break. Working dogs gotta work. So we gotta take them out. Work them out. Work, yeah. Are you like me? You don't really ever want to stop working? Right, Rocko? I don't. No. Oh. Wow. That was a whip in the face. Oh my God. Rocko, oh no, he's already going. Hey, Rocko, knock it off, bud. Knock it off. Now here's your old buddy from before. Rocko. Hey, leave the people on the sidewalk be. Dude, oh my gosh. He's working. There's nobody approaching the car. Nobody coming at us, but I think this is more of excitement barking than it is protection. Rocko, cut the, you know what. Then he sees a dog there, doesn't even acknowledge that dog. Rocko, come on now. Yeah. So, as I was saying, yeah, do you ever feel like you don't really want to retire, that you would like to keep working? Well, why not? We were created. All right, Rocko, you got to stop that, buddy. You just can't keep doing that the whole ride to the park, man. That is just too damn annoying, dude. So, I got to shut you down on that one, Rocko. Come on, buddy. Oh my gosh. We could be riding anywhere else. Doesn't bark. Something about getting up and going to the park in the morning. Yeah, getting up and going to work. It's become part of his, all right, we can pull out here. Part of the morning ritual and structure for this guy, and he's so excited. Whoop, that was the water. So excited to go. Nope, leave it, Rocko. Gotta leave that, man. Now, I don't mind the enthusiasm and the excitement, but it kind of gets my ears. Yeah, so what I was trying to talk about, was that feeling that, okay, why would I ever retire? Why do we retire anyway? Is that what we are supposed to do, or is that just what culture convinced us? Our government convinced us that we're supposed to retire. Yeah, I think the latter, that we weren't made to retire. I think we're good until we're gone. We're good until dead. Right, Rocko? Like, are you going to stop doing what you do just because you hit a certain age? Like, okay, let's say it's 9 for a dog. I always heard, and I'm not sure if this is accurate, it's probably some number, that one of our years of life is like 7 years in a dog's life. So let's say he's only 5, but let's say when he turns 9, that would be what, the equivalent of our 63? Is he going to retire and stop doing what he loves to do, being a working dog and getting excited on car rides, chasing squirrels, barking at other dogs? Well, hopefully that one. And just doing what he does? No, he's got no concept of retirement. Why do we have a concept of retirement? I don't think God designed us for that. I think God designed us to create. He's a creator, and he made us in his image to create things, to work. Even if you don't think of yourself as a creative person. Doing what you do every day in your working life, you are creating something. You're creating value for somebody, otherwise your employer wouldn't be paying you, for one. But whether it's a product or a service, and it doesn't have to be what we traditionally think of as creative endeavors like music or art, writing books, that kind of thing. What you are doing is still creating. You are a creator because that's how you were made. You came from the factory as a creator. And to suddenly stop because you reached some arbitrary age does not make sense to me. I don't know, how do you feel about that? Yeah, I don't think that's the design. All right, we're at the park. Let's find a good shady spot and we will continue our morning workout. Yeah, look at you. This concept of retirement is fairly new. At least new to humans, new to our culture. Yeah, Rocko's not going to retire, but that seems to be the goal for us Americans, that somehow we've been convinced that that is the goal. Like work, there's something wrong with work and we got to get to the point in life where we don't have to work, we don't have to do anything. We can just lounge around, melt into the couch, watch endless shows on Netflix, watch endless shows on Netflix and binge until we just can't binge anymore. I don't know. That's fun for about a day, but yeah, that gets old. I just don't think that's the goal, is to get where you don't have to work. I think a good goal is to get where you are financially independent and you can work at what you want to work at or do whatever you'd like to do. But to just completely cut work out of your life, nah, because that's not God's factory settings, the GFS. I'm a big acronym fan from the government acronym generator. All right, well, we got to do a little pickup here because Rocko's system is working this morning. Yeah, the whole concept of retirement as we know it, to where you want to get to a certain age and then check out of work, well, that's fairly new. It's only been around about 130 years, give or take. But back in the old days, people worked until they couldn't possibly work any longer. It wasn't a goal. You hoped you kept healthy and were able to keep working because that's what life was about. But it first started in Germany, I think in the late 1800s, when the government created a pension for its citizens, some disabled, but I think in some cases they were trying to drive the older workers out to quell the unrest and dissatisfaction of some of the younger generations, creating room for them to take over jobs. So that worked there, and then the whole concept spread to other countries. And then in our country, in our culture, Social Security, which started in 1935, so not quite 100 years for ours, what, another nine years or so, and then it will be 100, so pretty fairly new. Back in the days of our grandparents, that wasn't a thing to retire. That was like, yeah, wasn't a thing, wasn't heard of. So I maintain we weren't built for that. We weren't designed to do that. That when God built us back at the factory, you work until you're done. And with our Social Security system, yeah, why are we retiring in our 60s? I think a big part of it is because we're incentivized to retire in our 60s. When our government dangles Social Security in front of us, a great majority of us decide to check out and not work. But why in your 60s? Yeah, you can take it early at 62, or back in the old days, 65 was what's considered the full retirement age, but now for you probably, if you were born 1960 or later, it's 67. But if you do hold out until 70, you get bump ups each year from 67 to 70. And so that's why people, I think, that's why people retire in their 60s, because they've got this big incentive. And oh, by the way, you know when most people take it? The vast majority of people who are taking benefits take it at age 62, as early as they can. Because I maintain, we've been conditioned to believe that's a good thing. People brag about, oh, I'm going to retire at 52, I retired at 47, I'm going to work so hard, I'm going to retire in my 30s. Well, good on you. If that's your goal, have at it. But I don't think that's what we were built for. I think we are built for serving, working. There's nothing wrong with work. Serving and working until we're out of here. So it's a big incentive too. Here, Rocko, let's walk back this way just a little bit, man. It's a big incentive to retire in your 60s. Otherwise, come on, that's just some arbitrary age. We don't all fit into the same box. Haven't you met people who are 80, 85, who seem like they're 60 or 65? And haven't you met people who are 40 who seem physically like they're 65? So there's no one size fits all, so it's just some arbitrary age. What if when they designed Social Security, they said it was 70? I actually think I read that it was 70, and then they dropped it down to 65 at the time. But okay, let's just say, what if it was available to you at age 50? Then wouldn't we all sort of reset our minds to think, okay, I'm just gearing up for a finish line that starts in my 50s, and I can start scaling back when I am 45, and then I can coast in to age 50 in retirement. Then we would probably all be doing that, because that's what we're doing in our 60s. But what if, when they set it up, what if it was 75 or 80? What if they just started with 80? Then you wouldn't even think of retirement as a possibility in our 60s, because we'd all be conditioned to believe that didn't happen until we are in our 80s. Or what if you just thought, you know what? If we all thought, as a culture, as a society, that, well, you just keep working until you're out of here, which is what we used to do. So I think it's just all an arbitrary age anyway. It's just all cultural conditioning and brainwashing that has us retiring in our 60s. Oh, and I'm not talking about people that are not healthy or are disabled or have some physical thing that keeps them from working. I'm not talking about that. That's a different conversation. I'm talking about people who are able-bodied and still able to serve God's other children, able to work, and able to live their best life. Man, there's a lot of reasons that we're going to have to talk about not to retire. I think retiring in your 60s is not good for your health. Haven't we all heard the stories about people who retire and then within 5 years they're dead? They've lost their self-identity, their purpose, their relevance in life. Nobody's counting on them to do anything. And then if they're not dead, if you look at them, and I'm not saying this happens in every case, but a lot of folks, after they retire, you see them somewhere in that first year, and oh my gosh, it looks like they've aged 10 years. No reason to get up and go. No structure in their life anymore. Hey, just like my boy here needs some structure, right? You need structure, Rocko. Yeah, it's going to age you. It's just not good for your health to check out and not do anything. So retirement, not the best thing for your health, physical or mental. Sit, buddy. Good boy. You want some water? Let's do some water. Whoop. Ready? And you don't have to do the job that you did for 40 years, that you hated. You could find something that you like to do. Nothing's holding you to that. You could get a side gig, what we call side gigs today, or something else. Create something. There's the story about Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah. Remember Colonel Sanders, Harlan Sanders? He owned a restaurant, Then he retired and he got his first Social Security check, $105. Now, I don't care if that was then, $105 now or back then. Sure doesn't seem like a whole lot. So, what did Harlan Sanders do? Well, he went to work. He got his special chicken recipe worked up, right, Rocko? I bet you'd like that. And he started taking it around the country, peddling that to restaurants all over the country. And by the time he was 80, KFC, what we now know as KFC, it was Kentucky Fried Chicken for years, at least when I was a kid, but KFC, it became a national institution. Yeah, from a guy who started that business at age 65. It is never too late. Come on, Rocko boy. So you're in your late 50s, early 60s, and you haven't really saved that much for retirement. Well, kind of like Dave Ramsey says about where do you go when you don't have any money? To work. I say, if you haven't saved enough to do what our culture considers retirement, don't retire, keep working. Ready, Rocko? Let's go, baby. Keep doing what you're doing or find something you like to do and keep working because you were designed to keep working. You were designed to create, and you're good until you're gone. I think retirement would be fun for about 2 weeks. Kind of the same time frame a good vacation is. Takes you a few days to settle in, and then you realize, hey, this is pretty good. But then you are kind of missing your bed. You kind of wish you were home. Yeah, the older I get, the sooner that kicks in. That these days, I'm about 2 days into a vacation. I'm like, you know what? I kind of just rather be at home doing my stuff, working, playing tennis, working out, around all the stuff that I like to do, because I love my life. I love the day-to-day life. So, yeah, so vacation, well, it's great to get away, and the anticipation of going on vacation is amazing, right? Gosh, just thinking about it can almost be better than the actual vacation. And I'm going to say sometimes nowadays, it is. The anticipation is better. But retirement, a permanent vacation, a temporary, what's that Buffett song? Something about a permanent vacation, I think. I don't know. Maybe you know. Let me know what the name of that song is. Something about a permanent vacation. Yeah. So, permanent vacation sounds pretty good in theory, but I'm going to guess you're going to get tired of it pretty fast. Just my theory. And that is why I just don't think we're aligned by design to go on permanent vacations. Get away, reset, recharge, reset your mind frame, but to check out forever, gosh, just when you're getting good at what you were doing. Yeah, most of us in our 60s, with all the experience we've had and all the reps we've put in, right? Reps, tennis or otherwise, but all the reps we do at work, we're just getting good. Now, why do we have to step aside? Or why did we choose to step aside? Man, all that experience, that is still valuable. And not only from a monetary standpoint, because you can certainly sell your services either to your current employer or the next one, but is valuable to you as a man, as a person, valuable to you mentally. And the mind and the body are connected, so it's going to be valuable to you on a physical basis as well. All right, Mr. Rock Boy spinning around there. Hey, should we do some water here? So yeah, still valuable to keep on working, baby. Keep on producing, serving others. The feeling that you're going to get from that is going to exceed any thoughts of a permanent vacation. Well, I think so anyway. Yeah, I hope to never find out because I plan to keep on working, baby. Come on, let's just keep on working. Rocko, want to keep on working some here? All right, let's get some water, man. Since when did you comply with the government? That you would do anything the government told you to do? Yeah. We try to put off as long as possible paying taxes, right? For the most part, that's just good tax planning. Defer your taxes. That's what retirement accounts are built around, unless they are the Roth variety. But yeah, we try to put off paying taxes. Why are we letting the government dictate when we think it's the time to retire? Rocko, hey, chill out, buddy. And following along and playing along with their setup of, yeah, check out in your 60s, stop working, collect your Social Security. Why are we following that cultural construct, that premise? Yeah, I don't think that's the play, man. Now, I'm not saying just ignore Social Security. I think it's your job to be the best manager of your own Social Security, the best steward of that money that is coming to you, whether 62, 67, or 70. It's there, but that doesn't mean you need to stop working. So, learn all about it. Make it work for you, not the other way around. All right, Rocko Boy's ready to head back toward the pickleball courts, and then we'll walk by the dog park, see who's playing around in there, and then head him home. And we'll call it a morning. We go back like a 1970 Cadillac. All right, back in the car, heading back to base. I don't hear him barking like a maniac now, right? Because he's got some satisfaction in him. He's feeling good because he went out and did his work, patrolled the park, so to speak, sniffing every blade of grass, checking every squirrel, barking at other dogs. Not so bad today because it is lawnmower day and not that many people are out here at this hour. But hey, overall pretty good. So my boy went to work, and look how good he feels now. We'll see if on the ride home he remains quiet and satisfied as opposed to all that excited barking on the way over here. My point is, just think how good you'll feel after a day of work. Don't you feel like that already if you're still working? My point being that in our so-called retirement days, that the satisfaction you're gonna get. Rocko, come on, dude. Rocko, it's just a lawnmower. Some guy on a riding lawnmower, one of those big kind. Wasn't attacking us, wasn't trying to break into the car, but yeah, Rocko Boy's got to make sure he knows we're over here. As I was saying, yeah, that feeling of just doing something valuable, it's hard to beat, man. That is hard to beat. And in retirement, when you know you don't have to be anywhere, nobody's counting on you to do something, nobody's counting on you to serve their needs, take care of them, or provide some kind of goods or service that can help them out. And you know how you know it does help them out? They are paying you for it. They're willing to pay you for it. I'm not knocking volunteering. That's a conversation for another video, but yeah, if you're just volunteering, well, all right, we'll address that another time. Right now, though, I'm just going to say that Rocko, he went to work, and now he feels great. He's good for the day. If he just lounged around the house all morning, he'd be going out of his mind. He needs something to do, man. He's bred to work. He's a working line German Shepherd. And my friend, you are a working line human being. God made you, the factory settings, to work. So that is what we do.